Shapiro is like the most competent governor I've seen in my life.
Ken, how would you fix Kensington?
You're going to have to kind of flirt with fascism here, just for a little bit. It's a temporary measure. Just give me absolute power, and I promise when the emergency is done, I will relinquish it, okay?
Let me get this straight. You're starting an app to fix the potholes of Philadelphia.
Yes, and it's going to be like the Uber of fixing potholes. Diogenes. He was famous for being like the world's first troll, the world's first shit poster. All these guys are like, what's the meaning of this? He lived in a barrel like naked with dogs, and he says like, you're all posers, you're all fake. Copyright.
Drew Carey looks like your father, by the way.
Don't dox me by saying he looks like
He looks like your dad. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Slightly Relatable, the show that's completely made up and the points do not matter. I am joined again with my cousin Ken.
Drew Carey's going to sue you for that fucking copyright.
Drew Carey looks like your father, by the way.
Don't dox me by saying he looks like
He looks like your dad.
Yeah, but you know who your dad is, so there's no chance that it is Drew Carey.
I've
unless never seen my dad and Drew Carey in the same.
That's a good point.
I'll tell you what, your dad would be an unbelievable host, though. The Price is Right.
He actually would. That would be like on the Spike Network.
That man spends so much time reading receipts whenever he goes anywhere. He'd win. He'd get it like to the penny every time.
He'd actually. Maybe we should sign him up for The Price is Right.
Every time he goes to Wawa or anything, and he gets like he's staring at the receipt, and he'll like wait in like the vestibule door, and like people are right behind him, and he just and he goes like full focus stoic mode. And I've seen him do this 100 times, wasting it. He maybe one time they double charge it. I'm like, Dad, okay, good point. You saved the $8. I'm proud of you, but only if you value your time at zero. Is it really like at a certain point? How much time do he has not thrown out a receipt since like 2001?
Yeah,
you got to respect the game,
right.
Because this, I don't know if I talked about this on the pod, but this reminded me of something. One time I got in an argument back in was it like middle school, high school, maybe the beginning of high school, back when I was still a libtard, and my number one enemy was George W. Bush. And this kid was talking shit. It's like, fucking Obama. And I'm like, do you even remember, or Clinton, what? Like, do you even remember the fucking Iraq War, 9/11? Look at the gas prices. You know, gas used to be like $1 a gallon. It's like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. What are you talking about? I'm like, all right. So I go to my dad. I'm like, all right, Dad, give me an oil receipt that you have from like 2000 from the Clinton administration. And I bring it to school. It's like, damn, you're right.
Maybe he's not big dumb dipshit.
Your dad's just like George Costanza with the fucking receipts.
Yeah,
because
he gets the heating oil. Now the heating oil is cheaper than the gasoline, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
Heating oil.
Because it's about the tax. The heating, like some people instead of gas, they have to fill up like a big oil tank for heat, for your hot water and all that shit.
Oh, okay. I think you meant for your car. I was like, what?
Yeah, dude,
I'm stupid.
I have a kerosene.
I'm a dumb
I have a kerosene lamp inside my car for those cold nights.
Yeah, I don't even have lights. I just use candles. It's crazy. I'm so behind, but
Can you imagine instead of those LED headlights everyone hates, can we just get two like old gas lanterns in there? And that would set the ambiance, the decor. It
You're
would
just
be nice.
camping in your own house, huh?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the propane
I like
ones.
that. I like that.
Yeah. It's been a little while since we recorded. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
Joe's been
We had
away.
some
He's been
bank,
hanging
but
out in
yeah.
Ohio.
His favorite
The best
state in the union.
I
Great
didn't want to
place.
be there, but I had to be there.
Second only to Indiana.
Yep. He was hanging out in where they eat the cats and the dogs?
Oh yeah, Springfield.
Springfield, Ohio.
They're eating the cats.
He was
They're
hanging
eating the
out there.
dogs.
He went to Whiskers and Mittens, the
Yeah.
truck, the food truck. That
Yeah, I had to
sells
get it before
cats
they
and
closed
dogs.
down. They were getting shut down.
I like how they're like, you made that up. He's like, yeah, but it's kind of true.
It is.
all you
It is
need
kind
nowadays.
of true.
It is a little true. The Haitians are eating the cats and dogs. No,
Like,
but
all right,
it's
I know that some of that shit was debunked, but gun to my head, I have to bet my life that none of those guys ate a single dog. I'm not taking that bet. There's a chance. It could be even be 99%, but I don't know. I feel like Americans would eat dogs. How many Philadelphians do you think ate a dog in the last year? So
I mean, yeah, like speaking from somebody who's like been to the South, it would check out. If like somebody told me, yeah, like a guy in Mississippi was eating dogs, I'd be like, yeah, it sounds about right. Especially from where we stayed in Mississippi.
This one kid in college.
Korea's still eating dogs.
Well,
South Korea.
That's a known fact.
They just
they like openly do
no,
it. No,
the younger generations don't like
They
it.
just put in a law saying they're going to stop in 2027, but that means they can get all their dog eating out now.
Yeah, but then it's going to be like they're
It's
going to
like
have
the tariffs. It's like they're bringing it in.
I know, but they're
going
to have like speakeasies for like dog cookings. It's
Yeah, my grandpa was in Korea and he told my dad and his wife when he got home was like, yeah, they do eat.
Who's that, Elmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he in like a hole in like Korea?
Well, apparently, all right.
Apparently, he became like an alcoholic after Korea.
He's probably an alcoholic before Korea too.
Okay,
it definitely happened after. I mean,
my grandma always told me about Elmer because Elmer was her uncle.
Yeah,
and she was always like, "Yeah, the war just changed him. He went such a nice kid and came back an alcoholic." I was like,
"Well, it's fucked up." They said that people were. They would go into your tent in the middle of the night and try and like slit your throat. You have no idea what's going on. He said because it's like NATO forces were there, so it's like all the different countries. But the Greece and Turkey are both in NATO. They hate each other. I don't know if it was a Greek killed a Turk or a Turk killed a Greek. One of them killed the other. They just killed them and just buried them in the trench, and then that was it.
Next to your uncle, who was just sleeping.
So that makes sense. I mean, he died before I was born. So if I'm hearing from other sources, yeah, he became an alcoholic after. Wow, it's almost like war is a bad thing, guys. Yeah, it's almost like we should avoid it and not go headlong into it.
What you're saying is you would prefer a trade war versus a real war.
Yeah,
we need the trade war. Yeah. I'm so sick of fighting people over tariffs because I've been calling for this shit ever since like 2006, reading U.S. history, and I learned about mercantilism. Like, well, it makes sense to me. We get more money, and then like, what is this? I want to be rich. I want to have all the shit. So, just to give you a little lesson for you economist nerds. So economists I hate almost as much as cyclists because they're just always wrong and they act like they're experts. The whole Nobel Prize in economics isn't even the Nobel Prize. They just made their own economics prize and then said, yeah, we're Nobel, right? It's like it's making a Nobel Prize at anime or something. But tariffs are a good idea for a few ways. Like people, the economics, it costs more. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a tax. Tax brings in revenue. It lowers demand, so it hurts your adversary. The revenue can be used to buy goods and services and offset taxing. But the other thing is like, okay, right now, Ricardo said there's this thing, comparative advantage. The idea is whoever's the best at making something should just focus on that and then trade, and then everyone prospers more. So his classical example was England and Portugal were BFFs back in the day. And England could make wool and Portugal could make wine. And there was some English wine, but I'm sure it was shit. I'm sure it's shit now. But maybe global warming will help them.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is like, well, we'll give you the wool, we'll give you the wine. Everyone's like, oh, and they've like jerked this story off for 100 years. Then I looked it up. Because Portugal did that, they didn't industrialize, and then they were Britain and everyone else's bitch. They had an empire, and then they're nothing. So, okay, China makes all the shit cheaper than us because we sent all that shit over there. Then we lost all the jobs here. All those factories close. Not everyone can learn the code. Some people are just dumb. Like, I hate to say it. Doesn't mean they're evil, but some people just have 90 IQs, but they can be good, honest, hardworking people. Those are the guys you need in the factory that build real shit. Because right now, like, okay, China makes all our shit. Well, it's good if they make it cheaper, but the second they don't like us over this thing or that thing, they can put the screws to us. Like, all of our antibiotics, ball bearings, all the shit that's
iPhones.
All the shit that's even built in America.
A lot of iPhone users.
Remember Dave Shapiro when he talked about it? He's like, why should we? That's China's jobs. We don't want to pay $9,000 for an iPhone.
Yeah. I mean, not to like belabor the point, but like you're glossing over the cheap labor that China provides and the way that they do that.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other thing. In economics, they'll even acknowledge this. It's called an externality. It's like, okay, you make something and I make something and then the market price. But what if I made it in a fucked up way, but it isn't reflected in the price? Like, okay, I have to manufacture car batteries and there's a bunch of chemicals. In America, it's like, oh, you have to do this and you file this paperwork and it has to be disposed in this place versus sewer. Well, those guys just saved a lot of money. Oh, I need a job in the dental plan and my health care and my daughter and the wife, she's a real, versus, slave, work 80 hours a day, more hours than in the day. They work like 6 days a week, like 14-hour days. It's crazy. So we're not built like that. I hate to say it, us in the West, we're just pussies.
But we do have value, right? Because we're the ones that buy all the shit. Mm-hmm. Like our population are the consumers.
We are the consumers. That's what people don't get. Now, China could win the trade war in the sense that they're an autocracy, so they can play the long game and be smart. And we have a bunch of moving parts and an orange man who's not very stable. But in theory, we should win because we have the deficit. Meaning, if say both teams took their ball and went home, we're ahead because we were losing more. They were getting more from us than we were getting from them. So both sides hurt, but this is what people don't get when they're so obsessed with economics. And okay, China's poorer, we're poorer. That sounds bad. But what if China gets more poor than we do relatively? Since power is never created or destroyed, it's only conserved. It's always relative. So every time China had the ability to build cars instead of buying them from us, they got more powerful because now they don't need us. And now that they build stuff that we need, now we're less powerful because we rely on them. 1979, They didn't know what a microchip was. They'd be like, well, Mao Zedong thought that George Washington had a car. That was what he was dealing with. That was his idea of history.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of eating cats and dogs, the majority of countries on that list probably eat cats and dogs.
I mean, it's what's around, like
yeah,
we had
mean,
squirrels around. We're eating squirrels in a lot of parts of the States, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
rabbits are eaten in a lot of places. Nobody looks down on
It's cultural,
rabbits.
and it's like, how desperate are you?
Ducks.
Because there's the Donner Party. Well, they ate the horses, then they ate the dogs. They're like, fuck, guys, we're still stuck. Let's just eat the people. And sometimes, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times in China, in like the Cultural Revolution, there was like Chinese history is like the craziest thing. Like you read it, and European history is like, oh, Count Ergenwergen von Stugendugen did this and that, and like the intimate details of this guy that led a retinue of like 4 guys, and then like he established Liechtenstein, and then in Chinese history is like Lao Shang took power, like 400 million perished, and like that's all you know. So China's always getting fucked with these floods from their rivers in ancient history. But I mean, credit where it's due. They got the oldest civilization, so we caught them slipping. We came up on them real quick in the 1800s with the Opium Wars and the Westerners. We put their shit in, but obviously long memory. They're not happy about that. They blame all of us.
Yeah,
and they're getting even.
Different history about us than we learned about that.
Yeah, because the Opium War was like the British forced them to buy opium, and then all their people were addicted to opium. Yeah. And then now I guarantee you they're getting even with the fentanyl.
Well, I mean the East Indian Trading Company is not. China is not the only one to take bullets from Britain with that. But just to play the other side of the tariff thing, I think the big part of it is it's expected that there's going to be retaliation from all of these countries that are having all of these tariffs imposed upon them.
But that's the thing.
As ours is literally titled reciprocal, they may themselves just say, okay, well, if you want to raise prices like that, we can do the same thing to you, and then we're going to price you out of your own market with a lot of these stuff that we are dependent upon other countries from because we don't have the natural resources to make data chips and like a lot of things. Like we just don't have access to the natural resources to make them, and all these countries do.
It's a shame that there's not 2 weak and defenseless, cold loser countries in north of us called Canada and Greenland. It'd be a shame if we just took it over and took all their natural resources and denied Canadians the right to vote for 50 years.
This is I think what people are a little afraid of is because like that.
But that is the move. I said this on another episode.
Quo.
If we conquer Canada and Greenland, we can just close our border completely and tell everyone to fuck off. No one could invade us across the ocean. We could fucking jerk off on Zoom in the hack China's thing every day. We could give them every reason to be pissed off. What are they going to do? Like that was like World War II. Hitler's going to invade. Like, yeah, good luck across the Atlantic's the skinny one, and that's still like 4,000 miles. The Pacific, yeah. We don't need anyone. We have the Atlantic and Pacific. We should just focus on ourselves. But that's the thing. I reject your framing though. Oh, well, they're going to reciprocate. Well, they started it. He did this based on the countries that already tariff us.
Okay, but like, what if that happens? What do you mean? You're saying that they won't do that? I mean, of course they could absolutely.
Oh no, they definitely could. My point is because we're the consumer.
Sure.
We win if that goes that way.
Why?
If you're a restaurant and I'm your biggest customer and I put all your orders in, and we get in a fight and you didn't give me enough Parmesan cheese or whatever, I don't like your butter packets, and we really go at it. If you tell me to fuck off and I tell you to fuck off, if you ban me from the restaurant, or if I say I'm never coming here again, if I'm like 90% of your business, your restaurant's over. I go somewhere else.
But their business is from their customers, not from their suppliers.
But my point is, America's the consumer market. We're the buyers.
Yeah, of course.
So when the buyers and the sellers have a fight, and if it goes nuclear all the way, the buyer wins.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's who can wait out the other, right?
Exactly. But
are you against the tariffs?
Game and who can?
Are you big time against the tariffs?
I honestly don't know where I stand on it.
It's kind of like a weird.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm 100% on board with the tariffs. I'm very afraid of the execution. I do not know if Orange Man is the man. But on the other side, no one gets people more rattled and off balance than this guy. And he's
I mean,
it's true.
He's fucking smart. People don't want it. People will never give him the credit that he's smart, but he is a fucking smart dude.
Yeah, he just sounds like an idiot.
Well, he sabotages any normal, especially like any like liberal leaning person to ever think he's smart. Because he's always saying dumb shit. But
he puts you on the ropes, man. He scares a lot of people.
That's the thing. I got to write some like poem or like a book about Trump. He's an extraordinary individual in the sense that,
and he is the first one to really step up and like stand ground against China.
Because think about it, he's like
Biden did keep the tariffs that he put in place in his first term too.
Yeah, because that's the thing. The
Biden don't know where even China is.
The protectionist, anti-free trade people won the argument. The only way it could fuck up is, I'm afraid, if Trump fucks the tariffs up, then everyone will turn against them. Even though I think they're the right move, but
hey, we're gonna take care of China.
Come on now.
I like Chinese food, man. Come on.
Let's go get some ice cream and talk about it.
Come on, man.
After China retaliated at my local
Talk
spot,
about America.
Come on, man. You make great cars. I got a car. Just go to China.
my local spot no longer the combination platter egg roll doesn't come with anymore, so it's terrible.
You guys tried the new
Inflation's
Goo Guy pan. But yeah, I mean, interesting time in America.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that scares me is they tried this during the Great Depression too, and it kind of.
By the way, speaking of politics,
that's libertarian propaganda. They've been saying that for years. It's like, well, if that happened, what are you, an expert in shit that never happened? If they did this, it would have. How do you know? You weren't there to run the experiment.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not a bad point.
Yeah.
I was telling him, Josh Shapiro.
Oh yeah.
Josh Shapiro's like agent or a guy who runs his like accounts followed us yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna try and get him on.
Shapiro's a big, slightly relatable fan, or Enterprise
I don't know
fan?
if he's a slightly relatable fan, but
Can you imagine we have Josh Shapiro
himself or like one of his like staffers?
I think it's like the guy who does his like social media followed us. Because he's going on a podcast that I was on last night. I think he's like coming on. He was going on today.
Which
and
Rogan?
Rogan.
It was like the Brewed Out. It was like the Brewed Out podcast.
It's like a beer podcast.
It's like a beer podcast.
It's funny that you go on the beer podcast you never drink.
I know, right? It's crazy how that works.
What's your favorite? I can't pick. They're all good.
Let me see. It was
Brewed Up with.
Is it Brewed Up and Spit Out?
No, Brewed At podcast. The Brewed At podcast.
The Brewed.
Brewed at AT. And yeah, shouts out those guys. That's where we were on last night. But they were doing like a Zoom thing today with Josh Shapiro apparently. So I feel like that could be a good guest if we get him on.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
I think the governor of the state, who might be the president in 4 years, might be a good guest. But I don't know. I'd rather get
I mean, Ken, you have pretty like strong. I mean, Dan and I think are pretty much in the middle and don't have strong opinions about.
I'd be nice to him.
You have a big. What's your opinion on Shapiro and what he's done?
Shapiro is like the most competent governor I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Listen,
in comparison to, I mean, we've
seen
this
is
more than Chris Christie.
I'm talking about in PA.
In the PA. Well, I mean, even still.
Jersey had that one governor. Remember that governor from Jersey that's like, I'm gay, and it was like an Israeli like prostitute that like entrapped him. Look that up. It was like, name was like McGreary or something. I forget that name. He's like back then where like you just couldn't be gay, like 2006. It's just like it broke that he's gay, and he's just like, I'm gay. Everyone resigned.
I remember John Corzine. He was like very much hated.
But
let's talk about Shapiro. What do you think about him?
Shapiro, I will love for this and this alone. Who knows? He could get us in a nuclear war for all I know when someone's in the Oval Office. But I will forever be grateful for my whole life hating government because it doesn't do the basic things it's supposed to do, like keep us safe from criminals, stop people from doing drugs in the street, paving the fucking roads. So when 95 was destroyed by some like lunatic who like self-immolated, I'm like, fuck. 95 is going to be fucked for a year. In my life, seeing potholes last for years, I never thought it could be possibly built in a week. That was a China strategy.
It was like we did get the materials from, I think it was China, right? The stuff that was filled.
I heard they use like crushed glass.
It was, I don't know, it was something.
They use like pounds of like crushed glass or something.
But you're right.
We're all gonna die on it in a year because it's styrofoam.
But you're right. The execution was like way faster than anybody.
Yeah, but wasn't Pete Buttigieg involved with that too?
Yeah, because he was a transportation person, right?
Yeah.
That guy,
not a Buttigieg fan.
He doesn't like gay people.
If we've already heard since the New Jersey guy.
I didn't hate him. I feel bad for him. It's like,
live
your life.
Why do you feel bad for him?
Living their life, sucking cock.
For all the politicians that have ordered like assassinations and drone strikes, sucking cock is enough to resign.
Oh, yeah, you mean politics of the past? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like maybe he's like I should hate most politicians. You hate for some reason or another. Sure. But yeah, it just seems like so milquetoast. Remember that crazy South Carolina guy that's like, I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail, and he was like having an affair with his mistress in Argentina?
No, I don't remember that guy.
I think the reason why a lot of, at least Democrats like Buttigieg, is he seems like the most normal of the group, and like maybe like the most status quo, and like ruffle the least amount of
Look
feathers.
up. All right, here,
the
I'm
only
gonna
thing about him is he's gay.
No, go on YouTube. I'm going to show you exactly who Pete Buttigieg is.
Sure.
I was watching Sean Hannity on with Kyle from Nelk, and Sean was saying that of all the Democrats, he actually thinks that who's the guy who's like a marble mouth who like had a stroke? Fetterman.
Yeah.
He actually thinks Fetterman's like kind of not a bad politician.
I loved Fetterman like 6 years ago.
I think he's an
idiot.
I think he looks like an idiot. Like wear a suit, dude.
All
Like,
the progressive libs have turned on him because he like gets brain tumors. Like I support Israel now. I believe in a flat tax.
Yeah, the guy's
I
like.
honestly haven't turned on him. I just think it's unfortunate that like he had a stroke at the time that he did. You know, like it is what it is. You do have to. He looks really bad.
I don't mind his whole vibe, but I agree. Like fucking slob. You're in the Senate.
Yeah,
Dress up.
you know.
But,
I mean, dude, like, you don't even have to get like dressed. Just like wear like nice pants and like a golf shirt. Like look a little bit
wear
presentable.
polo.
Like you're represented. Like I think you look a little bit presentable.
I mean, I could definitely agree with that. I would have to push back on he's doing it for a bit or like
I mean he's doing it. He's like trying to relate more.
Who he is.
He's trying to relate more.
I think that's just who he is.
Time out. Ancient Greece. We got an example of this.
Go.
The famous philosopher Diogenes. He was famous for being like the world's first troll, the world's first shit poster. Where all these guys are like, "What's the meaning of this?" He lived in a barrel like naked with dogs, and he says like, "You're all posers, you're all fake. I don't believe in all your shit." He was constantly trolling. Alexander the Great met him, and then he's like, he's like the great conquering hero, and he's like, "Is there anything I can do for you, Diogenes?" He's like, "Yeah, you can get out of my light." And then Alexander the Great's like, "If I wasn't Alexander, I wish I was Diogenes." And then Diogenes said, "If I wasn't Diogenes, I wish I was Diogenes." But anyway, one time they were at the bath or something, and this other Greek philosopher wanted to troll him for once. So he always walks around like disgusting, like in the disgusting robes, and this other guy had like real fancy purple shit. So they like everyone left the bath, and then they stole his like dirty robes. The guy put them on. He's like, "Here's my nice ones." He's like, "I won't wear that." It's like, "Oh, what? You're too good? What? I thought you didn't care about your image." Oh. So they finally got him back, but I don't know how that was connected to anything. But
we were talking about that Fetterman doesn't want to wear a suit.
Yeah. So Fetterman's kind of the same way. He's trying to be like the Diogenes, the shtick.
I mean, it sounds like you should like him then.
But all right, go on YouTube because this is who Pete Buttigieg is. Type in Trevor Moore politician. Hopefully that'll show you the sketch. 2 O's.
Jamie, pull this up.
Say again.
I said, Jamie, pull this up.
And then a politician or something, or like politician ad. Hopefully here, that first guy.
This one?
Clint Webb. Pete Buttigieg, all he is just a gay version of this guy. All right, start from the beginning.
Yeah, I've seen this before. It's ridiculous. He definitely doesn't have a wife. Small difference.
Yeah, he fell off his balcony, and he's always been making conspiracy theories. So they always say like the Illuminati got him.
Talking about this guy, like the actor.
Yeah, Trevor Moore died like a few years ago.
That sucks. This is funny, but why do you think this is Buttigieg?
Buttigieg is exactly as curated and fake. He's a CIA agent. He wanted to be a combat vet and go on combat missions, but it was mostly like drive around the compound where there was no risk at all.
That's a lot of...
He spent hours going over his name. What is the best way to pronounce it so that I'm electable? He is like one of those guys that wanted to be president forever. He's CIA. He like stinks to high heaven. They put him in that as what did Tim Dillon? Someone said South Bend. That town doesn't even exist. They put him in charge of it. He was a shitty mayor that couldn't fix the potholes, and he was like one of the worst transportation secretaries ever. I put that all on Shapiro. Buttigieg had nothing to do with it.
I mean,
we had supply chain crisis. We had COVID.
5 plane crashes in a week when Buttigieg was.
Look up the numbers, Joe. Stop falling for the
lame
stream.
In a week, Ken?
The lame stream.
In a week, there was not 5 plane crashes in a week.
The lame stream media. The lame, as Sarah Palin said, Just look up the stats. Like, yes, news coverage, but if you look at the numbers, it's no different than it's been in the Biden administration. There's always just idiot shit going on.
5 in a week, though?
Yeah. There's always
5 in a week. The news would have covered it. We would have known about it. It's like
there was only the three that were actual crashes. It was the Philly one that went down, the idiot that flew into the
DC one,
and then the fucking
and then there was one that flipped.
That was in Canada. So first of all, woke.
But wasn't the original like where it took off was in the States?
Doesn't matter. Not
wasn't
my problem.
Of course it does.
And the Philly one
too in like Seattle.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they clipped the wing when they
landing.
landed, but. And the Philly one, it was all Mexican nationals going to get special medical care. So how could that be on America?
Yeah, I know, Ken, but like plane crashes will always be covered in the news because it gets people scared, and that's what makes people watch the news. So like if we didn't see it when Biden was president, when Biden was president, if we didn't see it, then it didn't really happen as often because we saw so many of them in like a week's time.
There's this thing, it's called running coverage. Here's an example of just Biden, and like this is why I hate most politicians. I mean, I'm sure Trump.
Hey man,
Trump is also guilty of this when you think about it, but Trump doesn't act holier than thou. He acts like the scumbag that he is. Hey, I'll never forget after that idiot Biden screwed up the withdrawal, which the withdrawal was a long time coming, and it was definitely worth it to do. But he fucked it up because he moved the date back. He wanted to make it like the anniversary 9/11. Trump already negotiated a date, like here's the date certain. So when we didn't leave, of course, they started violating the ceasefire. But they evacuated the civilians last and the army first. They had those people hanging off the thing. And then eventually they let the ISIS-K, which sounds like a fucking CIA made up shit, they blew up the 13 soldiers.
There was a plane crash in 2001.
Yeah, there was.
There was a few.
I mean, this is Wikipedia, so take it or leave it. But since 2020, there was one in January, one in September.
Go to the 70s. The majority of them are singers.
And then we know about the few that have already happened in 2025. So there were 2. At least recorded in Wikipedia.
I was right.
One. Okay.
Get on a plane, man.
Get on the plane, man. Just see the country.
I ate my salad plane.
But anyway, just Biden and the whole thing, and that's why I hate politicians. After they negligently let the soldiers get blown up and let the terrorists, they're like, we got the terrorists. We're going to fucking ice those pieces of shit. We got those pussies. And they're like, we drone strike them. Like, yeah, pussy. Revenge. Don't fuck with us. And it's like a day or two later, it's like, it was actually an aid worker delivering water to children. Like, it doesn't get worse than that. It might as well have been an orphanage. And then did anyone get fired? Yeah. Did anyone get demoted? Did anyone lose a promotion? Did anyone go to jail? No.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the point is he fired the whole of the transport or the what was it, the FAA before any of this happened, and then didn't staff them.
Don't worry about that.
What do you mean? Don't worry about it. It was AI. Planes crashed. Like
Grok,
there's nobody in the position to do anything about it.
Grok is running that FAA. Okay, X's AI with Elon Musk is flying the planes.
What's our next topic?
Oh, here. Speaking of planes,
let's just get back to the original point. Josh Shapiro, what do you think about?
No. One last thing about the plane.
Could be on the podcast.
Google search this.
I wouldn't mind it.
Airline wants to get rid of co-pilot to save money.
Is she a woman?
If your company does this, you deserve a hijacking at the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's rough.
But if the AI is good enough, what's the pilot there for? I didn't hear about this AI thing. I heard about this months or a year ago, so it might have just been no, well, the pilot's good.
Sounds like it's, at least from this article, it sounds like it's because of a pilot shortage, which I'm sure has to do with their salaries, which is not very good.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Never has been.
Everything in this country is a huge scam.
Yeah, but original point.
But
just
Josh
Shapiro came.
So yeah, I would say thank you for fixing 95. That's the first time I've ever seen a politician fix a road in any reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
I was real hype about Tom Wolfe, he would do something. Fucker did nothing.
I did have high hopes about Tom Wolfe, but that was coming off of Corbett, who was a piece of shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Who was it before?
Frank Corbett. That's his name.
Something Corbett.
Yeah. Frank Corbett I went to high school with. No, it was Tom Corbett.
Yeah, Tom Corbett, I think. Yeah, he just fucking cut the education funding for everything, and then we had all the fracking, and he wouldn't tax that. They can't take it anywhere. You should tax it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that people can't move, they can't get out of that tax. You tax the shit out of that, and you fuck off with the IRS is sending you a thing because you put $600 in your bank account. They were doing that wall busting shit. Real estate you tax because even if China bought all the real estate, they can't take it home. And if we don't like them, we just say now, oh, nice deed you have. It's a shame it's ours now. What are you gonna do?
So let me ask you this: do you think Josh Shapiro is the best thing that the Democrats have moving forward?
As far as I can say.
I mean, yeah, I don't know who else you could even talk about in terms of like legitimate presidential candidates on the Democratic side, because like a lot of them, you know, if they've been in the public light for long enough and they're not electable,
I mean,
we already know about them, you know, and they're
Kamala
not
said she wants to run again.
I mean, of course, that's not gonna.
I hope she does.
That's not
She's
gonna
done.
work.
She hang it up.
I mean, the left's biggest problem is the DNC. Like.
Kamala's amazing. She has
know better than everybody else, and they fucking don't.
She has all the negatives of Hillary Clinton with none of the positives. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and she's like the most like stereotypical person that could be elected, a black woman. It's like,
all right, whoa, stop with the DEI, okay?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
all right, she's good. She's like what's his name? The fucking who's the linebacker or whatever, the running back, Herschel Walker that Trump tried to put in. And Dave Chappelle said,
yeah.
When I look at him, he just looks dumb.
Yeah,
just real
yeah.
He lost that election in Georgia, right?
Yeah. He did. Yeah, he did not win.
He didn't pass the goal line.
He didn't do good.
No touchdown for Herschel.
Herschel Walker. Yeah, but moving on.
Shapiro, if you're listening, hit me up. I definitely won't spring conspiracy theories on you.
Move on to something lighter.
Talk Philly celebrities. Who would you say holds the top spot right now as the top? Who's the top celebrity right now in Philadelphia? Who holds the crown?
I mean, it's hard to not frame this in terms of sports, right? The guy that we always see is Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or Bradley Coops. B. Coops.
The Eagles. You don't always see him at like Phillies games and stuff like that. Teller, you see it all of them.
He goes to everything.
Yeah.
I'm really tipping my tism here. I don't even know who Miles Teller is.
Yes, you do.
Who is he?
He was the guy in Top Gun.
He was in Top Gun. Yeah.
That guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now.
You see him all the time at games.
Yeah. Oh, that
He's
guy.
in Project X.
No.
That fucking guy.
He was in a bunch of stuff.
I'm
I really
a
like
Miles
War
Teller
Dogs,
guy.
actually.
I'm a big Miles Teller guy.
You ever see War Dogs with Jonah Hill?
Oh, that shit's so
Highly
good.
recommend. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Jonah
they're
Hill
like
plays
gun
plays like a private weapons businessman, and like he gets this government contract to like sell to the U.S. or whatever, but he has to go overseas to like actually make and
I think
Teller
I've
is,
seen
like,
some
his,
of it.
His like
looking at
sidekick
it.
in the show essentially.
You ever see 21 and Over with him?
21 and Over? No.
Underrated movie, pretty good.
underrated.
I'm
so sick of these fucking
Miles Teller. I mean, I would have said Will Smith, but Will Smith, he's had some
unfortunate news in recent years.
Some pedophilia issues.
Pedophilia, really?
Yeah. He's like very much
guy.
known to be like deep in the depths of Hollywood, and then his wife was bald and sucked.
Well, I knew the wife was like cucking him or something, and I thought he was like closeted gay, but now he's a pedo.
But then he had the moment on stage where he was like defending his wife, but then like a month later they were divorced. It was like
why
really
would you
bizarre.
defend someone's honor that doesn't respect you? It's
I don't know
so
if they're divorced. I know they're separated. I mean,
and then shouldn't she fuck her son's friend?
Yeah, I mean, it's all of this is like speculation. Obviously, we don't know.
No, we are actually endorsing this legally. We would be liable if this is actually false. We are
this is
material
also,
witnesses.
This is also
Kevin
the
Hart.
playbook.
I think you could have said Kevin Hart, but Kevin Hart's been deducted a little bit from the Diddy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, what I was about to say, at least for Will Smith, as soon as like one bad piece of news comes out about somebody from Hollywood, the playbook is like they're a pedophile, they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff just comes out about them that like we don't really know.
But I've heard this since like before. I've heard that for a while.
What
the pedophilia stuff? Like he was very much for Will Smith. Yeah, I've heard about a lot of people. I've heard John Legend, his wife are like big time into.
Yeah, you say that like it's evidence. I heard he's a pedophile. Who have you heard isn't a pedophile? Like,
everybody in Hollywood that
a
ever
lot
had
of people.
A bad
I've heard.
day
I mean, I've heard it. I could tell you the select few that I've like heard it from. But
yeah,
I mean, you could say Shane Gillis.
Yeah, Gillis is a guy.
I think right now it's got to be Gillis.
Yeah, Shane Gillis.
Like,
might
you have
be
your
the top
finger on the
Philadelphia
pulse
guy right now.
And we've talked about what the qualifiers that make your neighborhood Philly.
Yeah, he's from Harrisburg. That's Philadelphia.
But he represents Philly in a big way everywhere he goes, even though he's from Mechanicsburg.
Harrisburg,
which is a little bit outside of Harrisburg.
Harrisburg is one of the biggest piece of shit cities I've ever been to.
It's pretty bad.
It's got all the downsides of an urban city and like a fucking middle of nowhere combined. Just that beautiful state capitol they built, and the view of the river. There's a fucking
and there's
someone got paid
one
off.
street.
Well, someone got paid off. There's a fucking like parking garage that blocks the view. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Imagine if there's a parking garage in front of the fucking in between the White House and like the Rose Garden.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. Harrisburg is rough. I mean, it's like a lot of like military
Allentown
bases
sucks
there,
too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just always cloudy there. Like, does the sun ever shine there?
You know what I heard about Allentown, which is maybe like the biggest.
They're shutting all the factories down.
No.
It looks great in the rearview mirror.
Sister Pod, Philly versus Everybody co-host JT's from Allentown, and we heard that the local sports shops, the like Models or whatever replaced Models out there, is now selling New York apparel as if Allentown is not a Philly only town anymore.
Yeah, but I've heard that like you do have a lot of like New York people out there.
According to him, and
it's like always been like that until now.
It's always been Philly up until.
I feel like it's just a lot of transplants and stuff. Allentown's kind of like a depressed area, and it's like completely.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
Yeah, your boy JT. I remember he told me he was from Allentown. I'm like, that sucks. I think that's the first thing I said to him. I think I told him it sucks. Place is the worst.
Shout out JT.
But there is a place that's worse that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Kensington.
Wait, before that, you just inspired me though, because we all know Kensington. But before we get to that, what is the worst city in Philadelphia, or not Philadelphia, in
worst
Pennsylvania?
City in Philadelphia? Probably Philadelphia.
Yeah. What is the worst city in Pennsylvania? You're saying Allentown's a shithole, Harrisburg. Like, what's worse, Scranton?
It depends. It depends on what you're talking
definition
about.
Of worse, because like there's a lot of nothing cities in PA.
Yeah, I mean, what is your definition of worse? Because
where would you least want to wake up tomorrow?
Probably North Philly.
Erie,
Pennsylvania.
It's nothing, and it's cold as fuck.
But there's a little lake.
It's a cold fucking lake.
You're
never getting in that lake.
That lake doesn't get warm till September.
Yeah.
But it's the dead fish that wash up on shore are really nice.
So like you're nowhere near New York, you're nowhere near Philly, you're nowhere near Pittsburgh.
You're near the biggest metropolis of all time, Cleveland, Ohio.
Right. Yeah. That's what I want to be near if I'm in Pennsylvania.
You're near State Penn too. I'm sorry, Penn State.
Well, I mean,
I'd rather they have built Harrisburg in State College, just like really put it in the middle of the city, and then have the state university there. That's why Harrisburg kind of sucks. A lot of these states that their little state capitals also the state university, and it's a college town, and that makes it more fun. Harrisburg's just for fucking nothing.
Yeah,
is Columbus? Columbus is the capital of Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Same thing with Austin, Texas, with UT, and I don't know what other state schools are in their capital. Ann Arbor isn't it? But that's not a state school,
Georgia?
right?
Athens? Is Athens? I don't even know if Athens.
But Georgia's not a state school. You have to look at the state schools, not the private.
I think Atlanta's the capital of Georgia, yeah, but Athens is just outside of Atlanta as far.
No, I don't think Atlanta is Atlanta. I don't know. I used to know all the state capitals.
It's typically the middle of the state, isn't it?
Depends.
It's either middle or like the biggest city in the state.
Like those
definitely in Atlanta.
Those states on the East Coast are more likely to have, like, whatever they first standed on is the capital. It is Atlanta. What the fuck? Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk Kensington.
It's a beautiful place. We were just there recently, and
why were you in Kensington?
We just went to hang out with the
we
people.
were just. I had to buy something from a friend.
Yeah, the itchies.
I just had to go down there. It was no read, but
brain itch.
Yeah, it was a brain itch. They had the...
Ken, how would you fix Kensington? Like, what are some things you would do to better Kensington?
Yeah, this is part of my mayor platform, so get ready, people. This is how you make Kensington and Philadelphia great again, but you got to start there. Platform. All right, so unfortunately, none of you libtards are going to want to hear this, but you're going to have to kind of flirt with fascism here, just for a little bit. It's a temporary measure. Just give me absolute power, and I promise when the emergency is done, I will relinquish it, okay? I promise.
You going to reroute the L?
So here's how you fix Kensington. Fucking reroute the L. You kind of have to go hardcore. Right now, it's an open air drug market, and why is it that? Because it's more tolerated here than anywhere. So people are coming from fucking Baltimore. People are coming from New Jersey. People are coming from all. It's like the fucking
a known thing across the country that people can just get like opium right.
When people think of fentanyl, they think of Kensington.
It's the mecca for fentanyl. So. Yeah. And clearly fentanyl is a horrible drug. So we have a few problems. We have people that are on this horrible drug that can kill them. This drug can also make them schizo. And some people are just legit schizos and they're running around right now.
It also gives them perfect balance.
Yeah, I don't know how we were the Weeble, but they don't fall over.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. They never fall.
Yeah.
And
when we
it
do,
looks like they're tying their shoe for an hour,
They
but
should
they
be
don't.
yoga instructors. These guys, they can bend over literally.
Their back's got to feel unbelievable. Thank God they're doing these drugs because they don't feel anything. But
a lot of flexibility in these.
I just don't. How is that possible that you can't? You're so fucked up you can't stand, but they don't fall over.
It needs to be studied. Listen, these people.
Like, why wouldn't they just sit down?
Yeah, exactly.
You would think. When you want to just lay and be high?
Just lay on the ground. Wouldn't that be better?
More comfortable to have your butthole in the air? Like, what are they doing?
It's like if you push them over, would they fall? It's like their feet glued to the ground.
Do you think they get like a head rush from like being over?
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
blood
that might be
rush
it.
It just hits their head and like gives them a little
gets the
tingling.
blood flowing to the head and gets them like a crazier high. Who knows? Maybe.
But yeah,
Could
so
be
okay,
We're gonna
so
talk to a fent head.
But I mean, the balance that these people have in Kensington needs to be studied. I mean, they have better balance than Alvin Kamara.
but when we're going to do our Kensington live podcast episode, we're going to bring a limbo stick and play that limbo dun dun dun, and then those guys are in the background and just give prizes for the best limboer. But all right, so here's how you fix Kensington. It's called tough love, people. If you're soft love, sorry libs, that's called enabling, and you kind of need a touch of fascism, just a little pinch. So here's what you do: you got to break the reputation of it being an open air drug market. How do you do that? Larry Krasner won't prosecute anyone. Okay, so I'm mayor. I go to my police. I'm like, all right. Just annoy them. Every tent, you're kicking that over.
Just annoy them.
Every time they have drugs, you can arrest them and seize the drugs. And if Larry Krasner lets them go, and they're back on the street again, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Break their shit. 6 months. 8 months. They will fuck off to the, shit flows downhill. Path of least resistance. So immediately, it's not because I want to like torture them. It's just we need to clear the area so that we can secure it so that it can't be an open air drug market again. Immediately, all the people that actually live there will start cheering and be like, oh my God, my house is worth more than $400. And that'll be good. So, all right. So you got to just clear the area out first, and you got to do the fucking fist to do it. All right. Number 2, you actually have to help people. So this is the liberal part of me. I'm trying to reach out to you guys. They need to. I don't want to ruin anyone's life with a huge prison sentence, but we need to Britney Spears these people with that fucking conservatorship, and I'm going to put them in like fucking North Dakota, like literally a concentration camp, but without the death, and just have webcams everywhere, because that was the concern about the asylums. Oh, they're being abused in there. No one can talk to them. Everyone has access to like a lawyer.
Yeah, it's going to be like Big Brother, where it's just surveillance cameras.
Yeah, everyone has access to like a lawyer, and they can have an advocate. But that's the only way that you can't. There's no abuse. I want to lock people away like El Salvador did, and lock the problems away from society. But unfortunately, we believe in human rights, and like you just can't kill people, and we want to help them. Actually, our hearts, we want to help.
Do we have good marketing for this?
I think we got to rewrite the L a little bit.
Very quickly going to turn into Ken camps, and it's going to be very unpopular.
Yeah,
do we have good market?
Kensington.
But no, I would have a huge facility, and like for the people that are real bad, it would be like a prison, and like but people would have ability to. You have to have a ladder for people to work their way out, and then you'd have like a little halfway house, little town, and if people can prove that they can behave, then back. And we don't want a criminal record, but they need the detox forcibly.
Where is this? Where do you put this?
As far away from people. I would pay
Fargo.
North Dakota.
You would pay another state instead of like finding a town in PA that would work. Or finding like a...
Yeah, I guess what about you don't want to spread the money to people. Yeah. But the problem is no one in Philly would want it.
Of course not.
So you'd have to put it somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like maybe
Western
in
PA.
I mean, there's plenty of space in PA, but you're Philly mayor, not
That's the
governor,
thing.
right?
Even in PA, which has a lot of wide open, it's not that wide open like out west. There's still going to be someone that bitches. Like there's parts of Wyoming or North Dakota, no one would know. And you build a huge
Nevada.
thing.
Put it in the desert.
You build a huge thing. You give them access to a lawyer. You give them like a tablet or something. Put some sort of parental control so they're not ordering like hit squads. And you just want to get people like actually rehabilitate them. Like we're not going to let you kill yourself. You're not going to get any drugs. You're going to completely dry out, sober out. And the reason why you want it in like North Dakota is because they can't keep drugs out of the prisons. You need to prevent them from even smuggling anything in. And then the reason I put the cameras is for the protection of the patients, not for us. Because we don't want to just warehouse someone and then like they might imagine being a sane person entrapped in an asylum. What are you going to say? I'm not crazy. What are they going to believe that?
Yeah, I shouldn't be here. I'm not crazy.
So yeah, that's what you need to be harsh and put the people away, but you need to give them a ladder where they can work their way out. Some people are just completely delusional, insane, and they need to be locked up permanently. But a lot of people with medication can get out. But we hate this cycle of who's it helping? Someone shitting on the ground and like spreading a disease or stabbing you with a broken needle or just harassing your wife or your daughter. Like it's got to change. And if we clean up Kensington, this program will pay for itself because if the property values go up, the city's revenue will go way up.
Yeah. Kensington's literally hell on earth. I mean, you drive through. We drove through yesterday.
But if you're able to like put property or get property taxes up in Kensington. Like it's in like ideal places that are along, like we just talked about, along the L. That like
people would love to be
really valuable if it was.
It could be Fishtown and Northern Liberty is just a branch off,
right?
But
in my heart of hearts.
I think you get a giant hamster bowl, you put all these people in it, you fucking push them in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
If I had troop,
that might be.
I'm trying to be pragmatic. That's why I said North Dakota.
Trying to get Josh Shapiro on here, Dan. Let's not be.
This is true, but I also think reroute the L a little bit. Get these people some sunshine. I mean, imagine living under the L.
We just put those
Get some
lights.
vitamin D3.
I mean, they're outside every day. You know,
I know
they're getting plenty of vitamin
D. But they're leaning over.
The L is the most aesthetic thing about Kensington. It's very like it feels very 70s New York or something.
It could also be very cleaned up.
Yeah, it could be so nice.
Yeah, repaint it.
But that's the thing. It's like
step one.
Kelly Green.
I mean, there's an idea.
And then but then this is my thing. If I truly had power,
paint the town green.
I wouldn't put the people in North Dakota. Where I would put them is in wherever the neighborhood of those people that tried to do the safe injection site, wherever they live, as close to them as possible.
Sure. I mean, that would probably be my like biggest pushback of like, it's probably not the best idea to put it outside the city if you're mayor, because like you don't have any control over what happens, and then like people would just paint you as like he just wants to get these people out and doesn't give a fuck about them, even though you're laying out all these plans that would help them.
Can we talk to Josh about this?
I would love that.
Can I put them in like a cavern in Fairmount Park or something? Or can we?
Strawberry Mansion.
What about
knock down the mansion and build a facility?
Can we like restart up those duck buses and just send them, and then they drive right into the river
on the
like
water?
an island in the Delaware, like Treasure Island.
There is an island in the Delaware. There's plenty of them.
There's like
I don't know that they like how big they are in terms of supporting like facilities, but
how many people would we truly have to put away like this? 10,000, 20,000, 40,000. It'd be a lot, but it wouldn't be that much.
You also got to go after the supplier too.
If you're that's the other thing.
I would have the cops like anyone that's a drug dealer. No, you go after them like hardcore, like a criminal. Unfortunately, you have Krasner, but I'd call the feds. Like, yo, you want to charge them with anything federal? Fucking Krasner.
Yeah, I mean the cops don't even do anything. I mean, we legitimately saw people shooting up on the side of the road.
That's the other thing.
Watch, people just shoot up.
Nothing.
Cops do nothing. They just walk by it.
Yeah.
This is why
that's a problem.
I hate to say it, and this is another thing I would do. It's like the DA cannot go after the cops because the cops have to cooperate with him to do it. So, okay, liberals, I hear you. The cops are killing everyone. We make a new special woke DA that Krasner can be. All it does is cops. That way, they don't have to share things. They get a good relationship with the DA that just believes cops can do nothing wrong, even though there's like video of them like beating the shit out of Rodney King. That DA is like, what? I didn't see it. And then let the bleeding heart liberals have the corrupt cop task force, and they can go after them. Because otherwise, how are you going to cooperate with someone that's trying to bust your balls? Now you could say, well, they deserve to get their balls busted. They're corrupt cops, but yeah, Krasner, it's like just get it together.
You would have two DAs, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you'd have to separate it: the DA for everything else, and a DA specifically for cops, because the cops have to have a good working relationship with the DA. How is that possible? It's going to create a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So
it's not the worst idea. It's obviously that it would be like partisan in terms of like
That's what I'm saying. There's all these super bleeding heart, like super left wing. Let them run wild with it.
Yeah.
Really get them.
I mean, you probably know better than we do. What would be the legal and like political implications of having two DAs for a single?
They're already talking about doing it in the state legislature with
Is there any cities that have two DAs?
Or states?
Because the thing is, with what you have to understand is like the federal government's a thing and the states are a thing. In a lot of states and here, the cities really are not a thing. Every right we have, the state can like basically take away. Like I think this. If there was like a majority in the legislature and I think they could just get rid of the mayor. They could just like, yeah, Philly doesn't run itself now.
The state could just say Philly doesn't have a mayor anymore. We run it.
I'm not certain on it, but I'm pretty sure they could. It might be
because it's a commonwealth.
It might be different because Philly's a city of the first class, and there's something about the Pennsylvania charter. But basically, all the right, like all the powers that municipalities have, as far as I understand, at least in PA or other similar states, they're like revocable. The state, the feds can't tell the state what to do on a lot of things, but the state can tell the municipalities. But the reason it doesn't happen all the time is like, well, if it was clearly a crazy idea, you need a majority in the legislature, and a lot of those people are from Philly. So if it's really going to fuck up Philly, obviously they're going to block it. But apparently a lot of the Democrats and Republicans in the legislature were teaming up like to fuck Krasner and to make some special, because they made a parallel DA where it's like a SEPTA DA, but they fudged it. They're like, well, our jurisdiction's within like 1,000 feet of any SEPTA stop, which is like the whole city.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So yeah, that's what you have to do. You got to clean the streets up, go hardcore after the drug dealers, I'd have like public lashings and maybe executions of something. If you could prove someone like killed like 20 people with like fucked up dose.
So I guess like let's say like best case scenario, you do everything you do for Kensington and all that stuff gets moved out, the property value goes up, but the end game for the people that were currently running like these terrible drug rings and all this everything else that's happening there. What's to stop them from going to a different neighborhood and making that worse?
They get the electric chair.
Because this is the whole idea about shit. You keep the path of least resistance. I can't stop everyone. Of course not. I can just make it so fucking miserable that they'll fuck off somewhere else where they won't be bothered as much. Like with say what you will about Rizzo, but I think the Hells Angels tried to move in. And like Philly, they just drove cop cars over all their bicycles, beat the shit out of them, made them naked, and let's get the fuck out of Philly.
This is what we want, is what you're saying. We want the cops to like essentially be a rival.
That's what I would say, because even if Krasner won't do it,
but the cops could buckle down and do more.
They don't. I'm not saying you don't have to beat the shit out of them, but all you have to do is book them every time.
Giving out warrants and go in and get these people.
Confiscate all their shit. If they have a tent, fuck that shit up. Arrest them. Krasner lets them out. You see him back up. There's Gary. Arrest him.
Literally just have undercover cops.
Don't you have to have cause every
time?
Have
undercover cops.
Yeah, because they're drug addicts. You could arrest them for possession every time because they're possessing heroin and fentanyl.
Sure.
So, okay, Krasner will let them go. But who will stay in Philly if you got arrested every day for the last 100 days? You're eventually just going to go to New Jersey, which is my dream. Send the fentanyl over there.
It is.
I mean, they could easily walk over that.
Send it to Tom's River. Send it to Tom's River.
There's no toll if you walk over the bridge.
Because that's the thing. It's like, I can't, if I was the president, I'd have more power to maybe fix for the whole country. But if I was just mayor of Philly, your powers are limited, but you can't solve all the problem, but you have enough power to make it someone else's problem. That's what all cities have done forever. If they have homeless, they just bust them in another city, and that city busts it. Everyone's always trying to, it's not my problem. That's why the concentration camp for the drug addicts and the insane.
Maybe not call it that. Camps.
But the first concentration camps really were just prison camps, like the Japanese internment camp.
Yeah.
It wasn't
a death camp.
We'll
call it Auschwitz.
Yeah. That's a death camp. There's a difference. Check out the Holocaust
We're going to call
Museum.
this one Auschwitz. We're going to house the homeless.
All right, well, yeah,
we'll
have to come up with some like fucking liberal like macchiato kind of name.
I think a lot of ill will could be put aside with some good marketing.
This is why I hate democracy. Like, why do I have to? I have the
good
idea.
I have to do the thing?
I have the best idea. Why do I have to bullshit to a bunch of idiots? Like, no, just give me the power. Just hand it over.
I mean, you could also like have undercover cops as posing as drug addicts to help really like navigate.
So that's the other thing is like, a lot of these cops that like are like beat cops in like bad neighborhoods, they don't get paid a lot of money. Like what you're asking them to do, I get if you're just booking them every day, that's one thing. But like if you're asking them,
Ken would pay them more money.
If you're asking them, that's kind of where I was going. Is like
it depends on the area. Like the crime rate in each area should affect your pay. If you're in a more dangerous area, you should make more money.
I mean,
we
might have to have a cop on to like actually talk about like why that might not be a good idea, but who knows?
I will give them more overtime. I will direct money from the mural fund. What has that ever done that was good?
Mural. Oh, you mean like
the mural arts? Like,
sure.
Let the fucking GoFundMe or something. Why is the government paying for this? None of it's good. It's not like the fucking Renaissance and Michelangelo's David. It's like a piece of shit. Like, what is this? I don't even know what I'm looking at. The only ones I kind of like are those like fucking old Nana Italian neighborhood ones, and even those look shitty.
Some of them are cool, but yeah.
They kind
like
of a lot of them.
Washington one with the sax.
Remember that woman that tried to restore the Jesus and it became a meme like 10 years ago because it looked horrendous?
Oh yeah.
Some of those murals in the Italian neighborhoods, the faces kind of look like that.
They look crazy, but they're really old. Really old. The one that's next to Pat's and Gino's that has like the old like musicians on it. I forget exactly who's on it, but that one's really cool.
But
there's a few that are cool.
And then the other thing,
Grover Washington, the one that we were across the street from when we were throwing cheesesteaks. There's that one too. It's like the Italian guy.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking about. But
I mean that's dope.
And then here's my other way to just fix
the Phillies ones too.
Fix
the Philly
city,
sports ones, I'm always for.
But those aren't like funded by the government. Those are just people doing it.
That's
Which is I think is his point. It's like how much money are you even getting from the mural fund anyway? Like
I have to check the budget. You can pull up Philadelphia's budget right now, and they have to show you everything, and it's a bunch of bullshit. I looked at it one time. Every time, and there's initiatives. Can we borrow more money? Can we have a new office? No. Don't even read it.
Wait a minute. What is 6.77 billion?
Yeah, the $6 billion to play with.
I mean, the biggest thing that needs to be fixed is potholes. The roads need to be completely redone.
That's what I would do. I would have the streets department. I told you guys, did I say on the show before my app My pothole app.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we talked about this.
It's a great app.
So the app would fix that, and then the PPA I would either abolish.
Tell the audience what the app would be.
All right. So the app nowadays, because remember how like we used to have to spend all sorts of money for a bunch of scumbag taxi drivers. You would call them, they wouldn't show up. They would say the thing's broken. We had all these regulations. Oh, this is none of that made taxis good. What made it good was a fucking app.
Let me get this straight. You're starting an app to fix the potholes of Philadelphia.
Yes, and it's going to be like the Uber of fixing potholes. So just like the taxi cabs, oh, we need government regulation. Turns out all you fucking needed was GPS, camera, and a 5-star rating system, and that was pretty much 99% effective of like weeding out the biggest weirdos. And there was more weirdos in taxi cabs. And if you don't remember taxi cabs, sometimes they would just like fucking not pick you up. Yeah. Thus you could see like Raul is almost here. He's in a Camry. But
yeah, you wouldn't know where they are. How
yeah,
close
I think
they were.
now they fixed that.
Outside.
But like closing the barn door after the horses got out, taxi cab fucking dickheads. But so my app. All right, you see a fucked up pothole. Fuck this pothole. You've called the streets department. You could even like integrate this. If I was the mayor with like 411 or 311, whatever the fuck it's called. Man, that's a fucked up pothole. Take a picture. Say this is a fucked up pothole. I hate it. And then other people will vote like, yeah, that is a fucked up one. And then people can put money in the pot. So it's like, I want someone to fucking fix this thing. It's like Monopoly, the free parking, $10. Eventually, enough people will be pissed off at the pothole enough. Like, because people will obviously pay money to the most fucked up ones.
Crowdfunding pothole.
But that's the thing. It's like people that really got fucked up will pay for the most fucked up ones. Or it happens to be a rich guy and it's like his neighborhood and he'll just pay for it. And then eventually, so you just license a few contractors, like they're an official city guy. And then like eventually it's like, okay, if you film yourself fucking fixing it, the money's released to you. Boom,
good idea.
Bang, bang, boom.
I actually think that's one of his
good
ideas.
I would say too that like living, where we are in Old City, there's constantly potholes on like that 2nd Street exit when you're getting off 95 South coming into Old City, and there's always potholes on that street. They've filled it. I've lived here 8 years. They've filled it 3 times. Like whatever they're doing to fill these potholes, because they're always traveled on, doesn't actually set permanently, or like something else happens in another potholes. Like
that's
every
the
time
thing.
they fix
we
one,
need to
get rid of a couple.
We need to audit all these street people. Think about it. Is it they have contracts every year? Would it be in their interest to just make the street just like be fine for 20 years? No, it's in their interest every 4 weeks that it's fucked up. So I don't even trust that. I'm good to Switzerland. I'll travel the earth. I'll find give me the most fucking strong asphalt concrete shit. What did the Romans use? How is the Roman road 2,000 years old and it still exists? The aqueduct and our shit. Where do we go wrong?
Those are cobblestone.
Still, it exists.
Yeah.
Imagine walking on something that was built 2,000 years ago and it's like, well, this is where Julius Caesar. That's what Europe has that we don't.
It's true. Anyway, it's true.
But my final point with the pothole app is, and out of my charitableness, like say you're just like a working mother and you get in your minivan and you get fuck that pothole, my axle. You go, oh my god, you should be able to take a picture of your bill and then the picture of the fucking damage at the pothole and upload it on the same thing. And if people feel generous or if there's like some sort of policy, like okay, we'll fix your thing. If people want to do a good deed. And you can prove that your car got fucked up by that pothole.
And you can like prove your income, stuff like that.
Yeah, and stuff. Yeah. Whatever. And then that was, oh, thanks. And then imagine government working for you. This is like why I got to talk to this Elon Musk, like these tech guys. Like right now, they could be going in a weird direction.
This is something you could pitch to Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, I forget the politics behind PPA, but like they were a private company, right? And now they're being bought.
Well, PPA is weird because it's like this is where that's something that's the legislature in Harrisburg controls that, and there's all these weird political.
They used to be private, right? But they're being acquired by the state. Is that right?
No, I don't think it was. It was never private. It was a government, but there's like weird deals. So basically, how it worked is the Republicans and Democrats, they're just constantly conspiring to fuck us over at all times, everywhere. So in Philly, because of the Democrat city, like all the patronage jobs went to Democrats. The only thing the Republicans got was obviously the most evil one they could think of, the PPA. So my goal, I'd have to see if I have the powers as mayor or whatever it takes. PPA would either be abolished or I will assign those guys to permanent trash pickup with those little sticks. Mm-hmm. Just all day throughout every neighborhood.
Josh Shapiro went on with Kyle Pagan. That's fucking
Did
whack.
He really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, that's what's going on.
We really can get.
That's what's going on. They're trying to the hip, the youth. They're trying to tap into that because they got flanked by Trump with the podcast.
A lot of Trump votes.
We are new media. Fuck you, CBS, ABC, Fox, CNN. We're better than you with our iPhone on our pool table and our schizophrenic ramblings. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, if this is the case, then we can fucking get them more.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a bigger phone than these fucking losers.
Yeah. To go back to the original point, the mural funds is $750,000.
All right. Well,
that's just
don't they have a pie
beautification in
chart?
general.
Where's the pie chart? It'll show us what the biggest Johns are. Wait, go forward. I think
The
it's at the
biggest
bottom of that
Johns.
page. Wait, so where it says click here? Budget in brief. Annual summarizes the annual budget. All right, just click that. This is, I think, a proposed one. This isn't the approved.
Shapiro from Philly.
That's the revenue. That's not the spending. Obligations. This is all the shit you have to pay. Fuck. Contractual services. Look at all that. That's a lot of brother-in-laws. Chop.
Yeah.
Debt service, default, chop.
Let's find out where Shapiro is from.
I think he might be from the area. I think he is from Philly or like Abington or something. Like Montco. I hate when people that have a Wikipedia page have too much shit in front of it and it's not the first result.
He's from Kansas City.
What?
Well, he was born in Kansas City.
He went Upper Dublin Township.
Dresher, Pennsylvania.
Upper Dublin, yeah, there you go. He's
Dublin.
from Monco.
Didn't say.
His father is a pediatrician.
Yeah, because his family, that sounds like his parents were in the Navy, or one of his parents were in the Navy, so that's why he was born over in Kansas
That's
City, but
Shalom.
moved here.
The fuck? A refusenik? What the fuck is that? He began writing letters to Avi Goldstein, the Soviet Jewish refusenik. What the fuck is a refusenik? All these Russian. Click on that. I want to see.
Where is this?
Refusenik. Oh, they're Jewish guys that want to leave the shithole known as Russia, and they're like, no thanks.
We refuse to be here. Yeah, Russian.
The way it sounds like they're the guys refusing, not the government.
Right.
Interesting.
But I mean, he was born. It sounds like he was pretty early on in childhood moved to. Upper
There's
Dublin,
still some haters.
Gives him enough legitimacy.
There's still some haters that they're like, if you weren't born in Philly, you're not from. Yeah,
That's
technically, I was born in Montgomery County, a Holy Redeemer, but I lived in Philly my whole life. But I'm sure there's somewhere out there. You's not really from here. You wasn't even born on the L. So we're gonna get Shapiro on. Reach out to Shapiro.
I'm going to. I'm talking. His guy Gavin just followed us. That's the guy who does all his digital marketing. So he randomly followed us. So I guess he's been eyeing us up to come on. I guess.
I mean, if he's doing,
that is hilarious.
If he's doing pagans shit, then he must be.
He's got to come on.
You know, Pagan has
doing
like
the
no
rounds
smart
on,
like
Philly.
questions at all. What's he asking? What's your budget? Dude, I'll
I don't know,
prepare
I'll
so
check it
hard
out.
if we have Josh Shapiro as our guest.
I mean,
I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that Wikipedia article so hard. Then I'm gonna go down to the see also, and I'm gonna click the sources. I'm gonna read it all.
That would be an awesome episode.
Yeah. And
We're just here with the
have to go to
government.
the studio.
Could we do that in Kensington?
We might have to.
With Skrilla.
That might break the internet. Imagine.
Josh Shapiro and Skrilla.
Bro, I feel like that's like something we could get him at. Like as crazy as it is, it's like. All right, yeah. That's all I got. Hopefully,
Josh, if you're listening, come on.
All right. Yeah.
I think that's all we got.
Sauce in the gravy, though.
So for everybody, check it out. YouTube, Instagram, Slightly Relatable.
Adios.
Have a good night.
See you guys.
Au revoir.